Not yet. I'll introduce you, of course. Okay, welcome everybody. Cosmin is gladly joining us today. He is a former trainer from the Bucharest campus and is now working as a React developer. So I'll hand it directly over to you, Cosmin.
Okay, so yeah, already. Hi everyone. So yeah, I'm Cosmin. Currently, I do quite a lot of things, mostly developing. Before that, I was, as Connor said, trainer from the Bucharest campus. I'm not really sure exactly what I will speak today, but we will see. Hopefully, I can answer some questions of yours. Yeah, basically what I do now, I'm a React developer for one client. I have another team with whom I'm developing some projects with the merge stack. And beside that, I'm also a research assistant at the University Polytechnic of Bucharest. So I have some things to do now after I stopped being a trainer. But yeah, I think I'm here to speak about what should be your expectations for your first job in this field, or maybe to answer some of your questions regarding this fact, or yeah, anything. Usually, if you have questions, just ask me. I'm here to answer. One question, I'm not really sure. We have here multiple groups, right?
Yes, we have people from Lisbon, Madrid, remote. I don't know if the first one is here as well.
Berlin.
Yeah, Berlin. One of the things that you can perhaps also say is, and since you already were a teacher in the medical school, the students' expectations, how to handle with the stress, sometimes a little bit of burnout because of the pressure, and what they can prepare themselves after the end of the course. I think it will be a great insight.
That was actually one of my questions. On which phase the groups are? They're at the beginning, at the end?
Sorry, yeah.
They're at week 10.
In the middle, right?
Okay, so in the middle. Oh, okay, so the hardest part already passed, let's say. Yeah, what I've seen from my former students, I think the first month is the hardest, maybe, because you encounter a new way of thinking. You need to learn how to think, how to develop an algorithm, and this may be a little bit harder for you if you come from another field. But usually, as time passes and you practice more and more, it should become much more easier. So if you ever, I don't know. And one more thing, again, I'm not prepared for any kind of speech, so I'm just saying ideas that come to my mind. If you have some imposter syndrome, that this is something that usually students have. What I'm doing here, maybe this is not what I should do, or something like this. Everyone has this thing, even the instructors. So yeah, if you think, I don't know, you don't have any idea how to do a thing, or if you are passing through a bad period of time or a bad mood, just let me tell you that everything can be solved in this field with practice and with some perseverance. You can achieve anything, and I think all the instructors, even me, can give you examples of former students that started from scratch, knowing nothing at the beginning, and in the end becoming developers. So just be patient and work. This kind of work, the programming, is learned only by doing and working on it, not only by, I don't know, reading or listening to something. So do your best and work as hard as you can. It's hard. No, just work. You'll see, it's not that hard, and it should be fine. And yeah, if you ever feel that you're not built for doing this, or I don't know, maybe I'm not good enough. No one is good enough. And again, I had this thing, maybe I'm not good enough to be a trainer, maybe I'm not good enough to be a developer, but still, if you just do your best to deliver what is required from your side, everything should be just fine. And usually in now going in a developer role, when you're working in a company, you always will have some colleagues that will help you. So, and of course, Google is your best friend. So colleagues, Google, you'll have a lot of help for any situation that may be a little bit harder. Did I touch the right points? I don't know. Just tell me if I'm saying something that is not okay, or if I'm not answering to the questions.
No, it's going well so far. Do you guys have any questions for Cosmin at this point?
Hi, Cosmin. I'm Anka.
Hi.
I'm also from Bucharest. It's really nice to see you, and I'm really sad to hear that the Bucharest campus closed. It would have been nice to have that for opportunities. I just wanted to ask, what's the hardest part of starting out, like when you first try to land your first job? What's the worst part? Because I know that you feel unprepared because you just came out of the boot camp and you feel like you don't know enough. For your students, from their experience, what can you recommend?
Very good question. Actually, I have asked some of my former students to give me some ideas regarding this thing. What were their expectations and what was the actual result? So, if I may, I will read from their messages. So, for example, Antonia said that she expected to have the same atmosphere, let's say, as it was in Wildco school. Everyone to be very relaxed and to be very friendly. To have a mentor that will help her, and to get a laptop where she can work. And she said that the mentor wasn't that good enough, so it wasn't delivering all the answers that she had questions for. She got the laptop and the atmosphere was okay, but wasn't the same as in the courses. What I can tell you here is that you will find a lot of different people. It's normal. You need to cope with the idea that some of the people are, I don't know, more friendly, some of them are not. If you just do your job and try to be as pleasant or as friendly as possible, you should not have any kind of problems. In her case, actually, I told her to maybe to speak with her team leader and to ask him to help her with the answers that the mentor wasn't able to answer to her. But usually, most of the mentors and most of the colleagues are really nice, and you don't need to be scared or something like this. You'll see that everyone wants to help you and to deliver together what is to be delivered. But that's only one opinion. And in the end, I will tell you also how it was in my case when I got my first job. Okay, Paul said that he expected to be very hard at the beginning because he started from scratch. Actually, he worked at the beginning in a hypermarket, so no, he didn't know any kind of programming or anything that is technical. He also expected to work a lot to get the desired level, and he expected to less money than he actually got, and how it was exactly how he imagined. And I will have another opinion regarding Paul. I want to say that Paul was probably the less prepared student in that group, but he was extremely motivated, and in the end, it became one of the best students from that group. So actually, I think he had the most impressive development during the course, and here we have the example that working, and if you really want to work in this direction, you can learn everything. And actually, regarding Paul, he didn't get a job in the first month because he didn't apply. He preferred to build his own platform. He was really into CSS, and he developed like a small own framework, something like Bootstrap, but still less complicated. And he developed a platform where he can sell those elements, and he integrated payment processor and so on. So he worked on that project for a couple of months, and then in the end, he also got a job, and he had this project in his portfolio. So yeah, and actually, I remember that he didn't understood what is split and join. What are those two methods, split and join? And I had to use a post-it and to rip it, and then to put everything together to tell him exactly how split and join worked. And now, in the end, he's a developer. He also is one of my team members in that team that I was speaking about. And he also, again, did a pretty big project by himself. So, yeah, I'm really proud of his development. So, yeah, you can do it. And this is just one example. And I have one more message from another student, which is a little bit longer. He says that he's already working as a front-end developer with React from 1 year. He started to search his first job with 2 months before finishing this course, and he practically spammed every job offer that he found. And the first job was as JavaScript developer, and he had to develop some service desk applications. And for 3 months, he learned about that platform that is called ServiceNow. And he realized that he doesn't want to maybe to go in that direction. So he had to change his job. This is his wish. So he searched again for another job. He found another job, which is the current one. And about the current job, what he's saying is that he learned how to work from home, how to be integrated into a team, and how to work directly with the client. And now he's already used to that, and he really likes this part. And another thing that he says is that doing a retrospective, he have seen that there are a lot of chances in this field, and if you continue to learn, you can get to wherever you want. So pretty nice. Andrei actually was one of our best students from the beginning. He was really into programming. Yeah, so usually I think students expect to be pretty hard, I think, because yeah, it's business, yeah, maybe the human matter as well, but still you need to deliver. But you will see that usually in programming, people are really relaxed and willing to help you. So don't be scared about the job. Don't be scared about going to the interviews. If you fail an interview, it's actually okay because you learn from that interview. It doesn't matter you fail, 9 interviews. If you get the 10th, you got your objective. And from the past 9, you learned different things. So don't be afraid of failure. Right? I think that's one important thing. Tell me if you have questions, if I have answered your question or if you have other questions.
Can I ask, Cosmin? Hi, I'm also from Moldova, by the way, but I'm doing the bootcamp in Berlin. I wanted to ask you how important is then to have a nice GitHub page where you can put all your ideas and projects you worked on? Do you think this is already like a good step to get the job? Like to have a nice and complete GitHub page?
For sure. And you mean by GitHub page more, let's say, a portfolio, more general, say, yeah. in the beginning, because you don't have any other experience, you need somehow to differentiate from other possible candidates. For example, when I was involved in some recruitment process, we had some students coming into internship in a former company that I have worked on, and they all had the same background, and it's pretty hard to differentiate. Should I choose this one or this one? And that portfolio is something that can be a difference between picking one candidate or another one. And of course, a portfolio, it's a very good subject that you will have during the interview. Because, for example, I had some apps that I did when I was in college, and in the interview, everyone was interested. Okay, how you did this? Can you tell me how it works? Can you tell me what was the hardest thing that you had to do in that project? So you will have some topics that you will speak about during the interview, and usually, yeah, this is a plus. So maybe it's not mandatory, but it's a big plus to have something to differentiate from others, especially at the beginning. Yeah, as time passes and you'll have a lot of jobs, usually you are asked in the interviews about the former projects that you have worked on, technologies, and so on. Okay, other questions?
I have one for you, Cosmin. For instance, you already talked about the side projects, the portfolio, making a good portfolio as a junior developer. Are there any skills or traits which maybe you look for in a colleague, like a junior developer, or you think that they need when they transition from the school into the workplace? For instance, there are many other schools that teach very similar curriculum. What do you think would make our students stand out, or what could they do to stand out in a job interview compared to other boot campers or university graduates, for instance, apart from the portfolio?
Okay, that's a good question. I don't know if I have the answer for that. But if I speak individually, what I'm looking for when I'm searching for an intern, let's say, I would like that person to be like a sponge, to try to absorb as much information as they can. And also, speaking from my experience when I was at the beginning, I had, for example, one team leader that said that he really appreciates that you are not going to him with any problem. You first try to solve it on your own. And this, I think, is pretty important. If you have a problem, first try to solve it on your own. But then it comes what another team leader said to me later. If you have a problem and you don't manage to solve it on your own, come and ask for help. Don't stay and do nothing for 1 week. And when I'm asking you if it's done, you just tell me that, okay, I couldn't do it. So try it on your own, but if you run out of solutions, go and ask for help. Don't leave a task on hold for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 days if you don't have any ideas. So yeah, this is what I'm looking, let's say, for a student to see that he's trying on his own, but also if he doesn't have any ideas, to come and ask for help, not to let it there and until I'm asking, okay, what's the status? I think that this is pretty important for you as juniors at the beginning. And yeah, to try to absorb or to steal as much information as you can from your colleagues. And during the interview, I don't know, what I can give you as an advice, if you don't know an answer to a question, ask for that answer. So if you are asked to tell something and you don't know, ask the interviewer, okay, can you tell me please the answer? Because, okay, maybe you will fail that interview, but you will gain some knowledge. You will know an answer, you know? And again, maybe you fail 9 interviews, but you'll have maybe 9 new answers. And at the 10th interview, you will know them. So don't be afraid to ask questions to your interviewers if you don't know the answers. Beside that, let me think. What else? I think as a junior, it's important to have that willingness to show that you are willing to work and to learn, because no one will give you to do something from scratch that is very hard. everybody knows that the junior needs to learn, and you'll do some basic stuff at the beginning. It's normal. And it's normal to do maybe the most boring stuff. You're a junior, it's normal. I've been there. I did, for example, at the beginning, I did only documentation. It was boring as hell, but it was a step in building that career, you know. And after some years, you will put other juniors to do that documentation. Yeah, it's normal. And yeah, take it step by step. Don't expect to be a good developer after a couple of months. You need years and different projects to have a proper experience, let's say. And it's normal. It's normal at the beginning to not know a lot of things. But again, my advice is to try to learn those things. Okay, I don't know this thing. I will search for it. I will try to get the answer. Maybe I will ask a senior colleague to give me the answer. Try to steal as much information as you can. Hopefully,
just
the question.
A follow-up question. Sorry, you talked about the students when they get their first job being self-sufficient or trying to drive and being eager to learn. Do you have any tips for them to develop autonomy in terms of themselves so that they can, in comparison to some other junior developers that depend a lot upon a mentor, do you have any tips on how they can develop autonomy independently, or of course you're at the school? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the autonomy you gain through experience. You need to work. So yeah, maybe beside your projects from the school, if you have time, maybe, I don't know, you are passionate about one topic. Try to search for a tutorial for an app on that topic. You will gain autonomy only through experience. So yeah, don't be afraid to search. Stack Overflow, GitHub issues, if you want to get answers for specific topics. I don't know, medium.com or other sites for tutorials. Google is full of this kind of stuff. Just work and try to work on what you like. I think this is more. For example, I had a student that was really into guitar, and he tried in his spare time during the school to develop an app that can reproduce sounds from the guitar, something like this. So if you want to gain autonomy or experience, you just need to work and to every time when you have a problem, just try to search on Google. And as you all know, the best place to hide something is the second page of Google. Go through all the pages on Google until you find the answer. And don't be afraid to try things. I don't know if it's on topic, Connor, or not, sorry, but I had a junior colleague some time ago that had some pretty basic tasks to do. It was fixing some bugs on the app. He had different ideas how to fix those bugs, but he was always too afraid to implement those fixes because he said he's afraid not to break anything. Come on, we have Git, we can always revert to anything. So don't be afraid to try things. You cannot break anything. Yeah, or even if you break, you can repair it again. So yeah, when you are blocked on something, search until you find the solution and try those solutions, even if they don't work. Don't be afraid to try the solutions.
Those are great tips. I will put you a question related to time management, because now they are finished their second project, most of them, and so they will go for the final stage of the course. And the time management, I think it's crucial when you're working in teams and you have to deliver projects. So how do you handle related to the time management? What is for you the most priority thing to do, the less priority thing to do? Well, how do you handle?
Well, I suppose during the project you have some board where you have all the priorities and all the tasks defined there. So yeah, I don't know. I think it depends on each person here, how they manage their time, but pretty much regarding the tasks, try to get, of course, the greatest priority first. If you think you are not productive, take a break. this is very important. If you stay a lot of time, if you stay into a problem and you don't have a solution, maybe it's time to have a break, and you will see after that break, even if you lose time, because we speak about time management, you will gain time because you will come back with a fresh thinking. Yeah, so it actually help. And I don't know, if you are stuck on a high priority task, maybe just have a break and go to another task. This way you will advance in your project, and then you can go back to the other one with higher priority, but maybe with a new perspective. But I think time management starts from a very good planning of the project, and maybe to break everything in subtasks, even a subtask, to split it in some smaller tasks, just to be sure what you do when you do. Because if it's a general task, usually, yeah, I will see how to get started, how to do that. But if you have everything really well planned, okay, now I will define those things. Now I will create that method. I think it will be more helpful for you to be done in time with those things. But yeah, sorry, I don't have too many tips here.
Just another question. Sorry. When the students are stuck on a problem, and you talked about Stack Overflow, Medium, trying to find a solution to their problem, to fix maybe a bug or to finish off a feature, what are your tips to them on how to interpret if it's a good solution or if you should maybe move on and look for something different?
Well, first you need to see if the problem that is described there resembles yours first, of course. But in the end, it just comes to trying. If you don't try and see what it happens, you will not know. It's pretty hard, or maybe it's easier after some years, just seeing the solution to say, okay, this will work, this will not work. My advice would be just to try. If you think the problem is similar to your problem, just give it a try. If it's not good, undo, Control Z. It's not that hard. Yeah. So yeah, again, don't be afraid to try those solutions that you think it might fix your problem.
I have another question.
Please.
So we're just finishing project 2, and we learned React. And I wanted to ask you, as a former instructor, what would you say in this time in between starting project 3? What should we focus on getting stronger at? Like, should we focus more on further with React, or should we go back to getting stronger with JavaScript? Is there any tip you can give us, like, to prepare us for project 3? Like, what should we revise more or look at more carefully?
Well, for project 3, you need to learn new things. You will have the databases. You'll have Node. I think you did only a couple of lessons of Node, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you will learn a lot of things. I don't know. In project 3, you will have a full stack project, so you need to do as well the design of the database. You need to create those databases. You will need to create the backend. Of course, you need to learn first how to create the backend. I don't think you are there yet. For the moment, you can just revise everything you did. Of course, you will do basically React and Node. Both React and Node do JavaScript, so JavaScript is always good. Just, I think the best solution for you would be to revise maybe your weaker points. Just try to self-assess yourself. Okay, I know really well, I don't know, the life cycle of the component. Maybe I don't need to recap this thing, but I'm not really okay with, I don't know, hooks. Do they know hooks? I suppose, yeah, right?
Yeah,
okay.
We teach them hooks from the beginning, so it's class components which will come later on. But yeah, they're all very good at hooks now.
Okay, thanks. For example, yeah, I would recap or try to do some exercise on hooks. So just recap your weaker points from so far, because on the last project you will use everything that you have learned so far. But it's not, I don't know, a secret recipe. You need to do that and that, and it will be. It depends on you. How do you feel on each topic? Please. Hopefully, it will answer your question.
Yes, thank you.
Sure. Do you have other questions?
Do you think you can fall in love with a coding language?
If you can fall in love with a coding language,
do you think there is something that you can really like so much?
Well, actually, they are all pretty similar, let's say. But what I can tell you is not like in real life. You don't need to get in love with the programming language and stay there, because technology evolves, you know. So what are you doing now with React? 5 years ago, with JavaScript you can only, I don't know, add some animations to your page, but you weren't able to do a full stack app, let's say. So in this area, everything evolves, and you need to a little bit to keep up with the technology. So if you want to fall in love, it will be a short-term love, let's say. But yeah, you can like a programming language more than other. For example, I don't like C++, let's say, even if I did. Yeah, it's possible, but keep in mind that the technologies evolve, and you need to keep it up with those things. For example, PHP. I think you know that, I don't know, 90% of the websites are made on PHP. But now it's not that popular that it was before, because we have other programming languages that can do the same job, including JavaScript. So yeah, and for example, I have worked on a project that tried to migrate from PHP to JavaScript. It's a good thing to fall in love. You can fall in love, but yeah, you will always find a better or a newer programming language.
Cosmin, one question. Since they are 2 months and something to the final of the course, in a couple of weeks they will start prepare themselves for the finding a job, finding an opportunity. In your opinion, since they are in the beginning of their new career, should they aim for startups, medium corporates, big companies? What is your opinion? What is the benefits and the benefits and, yeah, the pros and cons of each, if you have that information?
Yeah, it is said that in a startup you will work more, but working more means you will learn more. It is said that in a big company, maybe you will have a greater paycheck, you will have someone to take care of you, maybe you will work a little bit less, which is not actually a bad thing at the beginning. It's okay to take it step by step. I don't know, it's a matter of taste. If you can do, if you can work in some, let's say, stressful environment, because usually in startups everything is very fast. You need to deliver that and that and that, and they really need you to work. If you think that you can work in this environment from the beginning, then yeah, sure. I aim for a startup. You will learn a lot of things because you will do a lot of things. But if you want to take it a little bit slow, I think a corporation is more suitable for you. And usually, yeah, corporations are having, I don't know, internship programs, or they are used to having students, so they have maybe special programs to take you step by step. To give you, for example, at the beginning, when I was an intern, I had first a dummy project that I have worked on in the corporation. Then I was helping in a real project and so on. So they take you step by step. Of course, you will take a little long to learn everything, let's say, but you will have I don't know, more calmer environment, let's say. Yeah, I think that's the difference. At least what my students said and what I'm doing with a small team. Usually the effort is big, so you need to be prepared to deliver from the beginning. So yeah, you will choose.
Does anyone have a question?
Hi, Cosmin. I'm sorry I missed the beginning of your talk, which I'm sure was really interesting, and thank you for come here and talk to us. I was wondering where you were based. I'm sure you've already talked about this, but again, sorry.
Yeah, sure. Hi. Yeah, I'm based in Bucharest. I used to be a trainer for Walco School in Bucharest campus, and now I'm a developer still in Bucharest.
Awesome. And how long have you been working for Ausy?
Since I left Walco School from July last year.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I think I will just watch the replay. Sorry for the dumb questions.
No, sure. If you have questions about, I don't know, your first job, first interview, first anything.
Well, I thought it was funny because I worked for Ausy for roughly 3 years prior to coming to Wildcard School myself. So I thought our paths crossing this way was kind of amusing.
Oh, okay, nice. What have you worked on which position?
I was working in Paris for Dassault Aviation, which is an aeronautic company, big company.
Okay. Well, actually, I work at Ausy, but I have separate projects. So I have worked for Telefonica, for example, as a client, and now I have another client, NXP. So yeah.
Cool.
Okay. If you have questions, anyone, please. Again, I don't have a prepared speech, so I'm just trying to answer questions. Okay, no questions. Okay, then what else I can tell you?
Cosmin? Sorry, maybe you can tell them a little bit about your schedule, like what is usually some of the tasks that you have to do.
Okay, sure. So regarding the developer life, you will have, as you have at Walco School, a daily. I suppose they still have dailies, right? Okay. And yeah, usually you have a board. At least I'm working agile. We work in sprints. We already have tasks assigned to us, and during the day we are working on those tasks. Weekly we have something called refinement or grooming. This is a meeting where together with the whole team you take each new task and you discuss about it. Maybe you estimate it, and you are basically preparing the new tasks for the new sprint. Beside that, yeah, I don't know, it depends. What I'm working on now, it depends. I have features, I have bugs to fix. Yeah, it depends what has the biggest priority in the backlog. Usually that's the programmer's life.
Robin, there's a question here from Robin that asks if you think that low code, no code can kill the juniors market.
If what? Sorry.
If you think that low code, no code can kill the juniors market.
I don't know. Yeah, I've seen now the question. From my point of view, juniors are always welcome because, at least from my side, you always have some, I don't know, more basic tasks to do that can be done by a junior while you can focus on other things. At least this is what I'm doing. I think it will always be a juniors market. You need juniors. you cannot. It's like in a kitchen. You cannot have only chefs. You cannot have only seniors. So it shouldn't be a problem for a junior. And in the end, everyone started from some point.
Your daily day so is very similar to what the students are experiencing here in the school, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So the same thing. We are telling what we did one day before, and what's the plan for the new day. That's pretty much what a daily means. And of course, if you have some specific problem or specific topic to discuss, we discuss it in the daily. If it's something that the whole team can be involved. If it's something more specific, of course, we can take the topic to a separate meeting. But yeah, pretty much is the same as we did in Bucharest campus with the dailies. And yeah, beside that, some different meetings that you'll need to be involved. I don't know. It depends. You'll have a retrospective if you work in Agile, but again, you have those things as well. So Wildcard School prepares you pretty well on this flow. And beside that, usually you work either on your own, either on peer programming on tasks. It depends. I don't know how the team is built. And yeah, again, if you have questions, you will ask one of your colleagues. It's pretty much what you're doing now. You will have a team leader instead of an instructor. So yeah, you have a good framework now that you will see also in another company. And also be open to work in team. Even if you work on your own tasks, again, when hiring, let's say, or when you are on probation, it really matters to be a team player. Don't try to do everything on your own, or try to help the others. Try to be open to others. Also, ask when you have problems. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know. It's normal for you to don't know. It's normal for me to not know. It's normal for anyone to not know some things. And that's why we have teams. That's why we have meetings to discuss when we have problems and so on. Other questions?
Okay, I have a question. Can you please give us like an example of what your first tech interview looked like when you were trying to apply for a position of a junior developer? Because we all gonna face it. So is it so difficult? Like, I mean, we are learning just JavaScript as a language. So I guess it's gonna be just JavaScript.
Yeah, it depends. Actually, the interviews, even if I'm not that old, the interviews have evolved in the last years. At the beginning, all the interviews were more theoretical, let's say. So it didn't matter you know JavaScript. It was, okay, writing pseudocode. I want to see how you solve this problem. So yeah, in the past, I had a lot of interviews where they asked me to solve different problems on paper. Just give me a pen and paper. Okay, you need to write a small algorithm in pseudocode to do that. How it is now, okay, beside the theoretical questions from JavaScript, from CSS, I don't know what is, for example, I know that one of my former students had to prepare a small project, and then she was asked from that project how you did that, how you did the other thing, what is SAS, what is less, these kind of questions. Yeah, usually you are asked some basic stuff from your technology, and then it depends on the interviewer to see, everyone wants to see how you think, and this can be shown in the old way with algorithms on paper. Now I've seen other ways, like prepare a project and then I will ask you from that project to see exactly how you did it and what was your idea, or maybe some random questions. Okay, you have this situation. tell me how would you do it, just verbally. It's not algorithmic or something. Just okay. I don't know. I don't know if it's junior or not, but you should know because you're doing in. Actually, I don't think they did. They learned about local storage.
Not yet. No.
Okay, local storage. It's a place in the browser where you can save some data in strings. Okay, I want to save some data, and as you know, the state, if you refresh the page, it resets as well. How can you do that? And you can say, okay, I can save it in local storage, for example. So these kind of questions. It shouldn't be that hard. I know that one of the students had at his first interview to do a small calculator. So okay, write me the code to do a small calculator. But usually there are some, again, theoretical questions. If you think about JavaScript, I don't know, maybe some specific things from ES6 or some array methods or something like this. Or of course from React in your case, but nothing too complicated. And of course something about your thinking. But here it can be, again, it's really wide. You can get some old school questions like, I don't know, write me an algorithm for that, I don't know, write me the bubble sort algorithm or quick sort or this kind of stuff. Or again, now that I've seen that usually they prefer to give you a small project and to do it or ad hoc or in a couple of days and then to have another interview. So I think, yeah, this is how an interview will be for you. For me, it was with a lot of things on paper. Write me this, write me that.
Thank you.
Sure.
I will put you just one last question from my side. Remote or on-site? Pros and cons.
Okay, nice question. From my point of view, and I think the pandemic shown that remote is as well or even better than on-site if we speak about productivity. I think remote is, I don't know, it's more, offers the employee a more relaxed environment. But of course, here it's a big discussion because I don't know, if you have children, maybe it's not that relaxed and you prefer to be on site. But regarding the productivity of a team, I think remote is as good as on site. Yeah, on site maybe it's easier to communicate a little bit. But I think I'll prefer remote, maybe with one day on site, because on remote everyone can manage his time as they wish. Because in the end, the important is to deliver, not exactly what you do at a certain moment in time. Maybe, I don't know, from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. I want to have a break, but maybe I'm afraid on site because my team lead will see me that I'm not at my desk. It happens. But still, I think only remote. For example, I'm working remote for some time now. You need to socialize a little bit. So on site, it's a good way to socialize and also to speak. For me, it's easier, I don't know, to be on a whiteboard on site and to discuss some ideas. Easier than via a meeting. But yeah, regarding the productivity, I think also remote is very good. So yeah, again, a matter of flavor. If you like to be remote, you can do the same job as you can do it on site.
Edwards is asking, in your experience, what is the starting salary for a junior React dev?
Yeah, that's pretty hard because the salary depends on the country. I can tell you in Romania. In Romania, it starts from 3,000 lei till 5,000 lei. This means, I don't know, maybe you guys can help me, Anka. I don't know, 700 something euros till 1,000 something euros. but this is Romania. In other countries, yeah, I'm not really sure how it works. Usually they're bigger, definitely bigger, but
in Romania we don't pay taxes, so for tech, right?
yeah, sorry. Thanks. Those amounts are after taxes per month. In other countries they are displayed per year and before taxes.
Yeah, one of the advantages of remote is that you can work for a German company and, of course, negotiate a higher salary. And you can stay in Romania and work for a German company. That's why the remote is a good thing. And of course, this all depends. I know that in German, France, Luxembourg, Switzerland, the paycheck is much more higher than for Romania or Portugal or even Spain. As Spain is much higher than Portugal even. So that always depends.
Yeah, sure. And a pro for remote working, right? Yeah, so you can work. I know that some people work also with US, even if it's on pretty different time zone, not only 1 or 2 hours. And also they get some good paychecks, but usually they work as freelancers. So we're not necessarily employees. In those cases, we're freelancers. So if you want to experience freelancing, yeah, it's another thing, but usually it requires some portfolio and some experience. So I think as a junior it's a good thing to start as an employee. Sure. Okay, what other questions?
Okay, so I guess thank you, Cosmin, for your time to be here. It was almost an hour of questions, which is a good thing.
Sure.
Connor, do you want to say anything?
No, just thanks again, Cosmin, for joining us. I think it was really insightful for the students, and yeah, hopefully we can have you back again at some point in the future.
Anytime, sure. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much, all.
Thank you very much, guys.
Have a rest of a nice day, and see you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Cosmin.
Good luck with
Thank
your
you, guys.
project.
Ciao.
Thank you, Cosmin.
Bye.
Bye now.